morning, Acadiana. It's Tuesday, March 9th, 2021, and you're listening to Local News Live, a production of AOC Community Media in partnership with the Acadiana Advocate. Their team of journalists print the stories important to our community and state, and we are happy to read you some of those stories. You can hear Local News Live Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on AOC 1, the AOC Community Media channel on YouTube, and on Cypress Street Radio at aocinc.org/CS Radio. You can find the print versions of these stories and more at theadvocate.com. We couldn't bring you this community service without the generosity of our volunteer newsreaders. Today, we're joined by Robert Richard. Welcome to Local News Live, Robert.
Good morning, Matt. Glad to be here and look forward to sharing the news that we have for today.
Thanks again for reading. I'm going to go listen on Cypress Street.
Good morning, everyone, and we'll just jump in with Acadiana news. Lafayette vaccine scheduling hotlines seeking volunteers by Megan Wyatt, staff writer. There were more calls coming into Lafayette's new COVID-19 vaccine scheduling hotline Monday morning than there were volunteers available to take them. For Stacy Conrad, the busy morning only reinforced the need for the community project. She and a handful of other volunteers were struggling to keep up with more than 100 voicemails that had accumulated before 11 a.m. Monday. I just think it's really important for everybody who wants a vaccine to be able to get a vaccine so that we can get back to whatever normal we had as soon as possible, Conrad said. I think this was just another opportunity for me to help get people healthy and save lives, because every phone call you make, you're saving a life. Dr. Brittany Hebert, a Lafayette internal medicine physician, created the hotline alongside Conrad with the blessing of the Louisiana Department of Health. Hebert, who has regularly spoken out against misinformation surrounding the coronavirus, designated Conrad as her right-hand woman on the project as the doctor continues seeing patients at her clinic. I think the Louisiana Department of Health was also thinking about doing something like this, Conrad said. There's a lot of red tape with the state agency to be able to do it. With private citizens, there's no red tape, so we just got it going. Louisiana's COVID-19 vaccination process has ramped up in recent weeks, even if it's been a somewhat bumpy ride for everyone involved. Pharmacies initially struggled to keep up with phone calls and appointments for vaccines. Now, some pharmacists are having to call hundreds of people each week to schedule patients for vaccine appointments. For instance, last week it was 200 shots we got, said John Landry, pharmacist of Town Pharmacy in Broussard, and it took us probably almost 1,000 people to call before we could fill those 200 spots. Some had got vaccines somewhere else or had appointments scheduled elsewhere. It's kind of time consuming for us, but it's just good to know that people are getting the shots. There were about 700 people on the wait list at Town Pharmacy as of Monday afternoon. At one point, there were 1,500 people on the wait list. Some people on the pharmacy's wait list don't meet the state's current eligibility requirements, Landry said. If someone cancels an appointment at the last minute, anyone who is available at a moment's notice is eligible to receive the vaccine, whether or not they fit into a priority group. Meanwhile, a few of the state's mass vaccination clinics are struggling to fill slots, which are only available to those who are at greater risk of experiencing COVID complications or of getting the virus based on their occupation. The Louisiana Department of Health is expected to announce on Tuesday expanded eligibility criteria that could open up vaccine appointments to more people. I expect the phone lines will be ringing off the hook again, said David Melanson, owner pharmacist of Melanson Pharmacy in Carencro. Melanson's wait list is similar to Town Pharmacy's list, hovering around 700 names from a high of 1,500 at one point. Melanson is limiting the wait list to only those who qualify for the vaccine under the state's current guidelines. If we don't limit it, we'll have a list of 5,000 names that we'll have to sort through every day to call people, Melanson said. We're taking just qualified names down right now. Local pharmacists have yet to see how useful Lafayette's new COVID-19 vaccine hotline will be. They spent a great deal of time answering and making calls to ensure none of their vaccine doses are wasted. Because there's not a centralized scheduling system in place, many people have signed up through numerous pharmacies in an attempt to be vaccinated as soon as possible. Hebert and Conrad have trained about 50 volunteers as of Monday when the hotline officially launched. But they were hoping to find and train many more to assist with returning calls and scheduling vaccine appointments. Our biggest focus right now is to get volunteers trained, Conrad said. We have a need for volunteers, and it's such a rewarding way to give back. Most callers have been older people who have struggled to navigate online vaccine scheduling or have been unsuccessful calling individual pharmacies, Conrad said. Some callers have requested a specific vaccine or location, which Conrad said volunteers have tried to accommodate. Overall, people have expressed gratitude for the hotline and the volunteers behind it. The majority of people are elderly, so they are just ready to hug their grandkids and they're just ready to get out of the house, Conrad said. Giving them some hope is so satisfying to me, and I think I speak on behalf of all of our volunteers when I say that the most satisfying thing is hearing how excited they are about finally being able to get out of their house after a year. Volunteers can contribute whenever their schedule allows from their own homes after they attend a 1-hour video training and download a smartphone app. Those who would like to learn more about volunteer opportunities can sign up at bit.ly/38M01S7. Hotline volunteers are only able to schedule appointments for those who are currently part of one of the state's vaccine eligibility groups, including those 65 or older, those 55 to 64 with specific conditions that increase the risk of severe illness, those who are pregnant, dialysis providers and patients, healthcare workers, dental providers and staff, teachers and support staff, law enforcement, and other first responders. Those individuals who do not currently meet the criteria can call pharmacies directly and ask to be added to a wait list to be contacted if there are last-minute appointment cancellations. Sometimes, pharmacies will contact those on a wait list who are not yet eligible to ensure vaccines doses aren't wasted. There are still numerous appointments available for a vaccination clinic happening Tuesday at the Rain Civic Center that can be scheduled through the Louisiana Department of Health website. Individuals who wish to attend Tuesday's clinic must meet the state's current eligibility requirements. If you or someone you know qualifies for a vaccine under the state's current guidelines and would like to help scheduling an appointment, call the hotline at 337-362-0777 between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, or 9 a.m. to noon Saturday. One dead and one injured after being shot in a vehicle. Crime blotter from Advocate staff reports. One person is dead and another injured after being shot from a passing vehicle Sunday morning, according to the Vermilion Parish Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer, Eddie Longlinay. Said deputies received a call at about 7:48 a.m. Sunday from Abbeville police about a shooting that took place outside the city limits. Police officers responded to a residence on Northeast Street in Abbeville, where two victims were found with gunshot wounds. One of the victims said they had been shot by someone in a passing vehicle while traveling on Adia Road just outside the city in Vermilion Parish. Both victims were transported to a hospital and then to a trauma center. One of the victims died of his injuries and the other remains hospitalized. The sheriff's office is investigating. A juvenile shot in his residence Sunday. A juvenile was injured early Sunday morning when someone shot into his house, according to Abbeville police. The shooting happened at 12:30 a.m. Sunday in the 1600 block of Green Street. Officers were on patrol in the neighborhood, responding to another shooting when they heard shots being fired around Green Street. Upon arrival, they learned that someone had shot into a residence and that a juvenile male had been injured. The juvenile was transported to another hospital for treatment and later transferred to still another hospital, according to the police department. The Abbeville Police Department asked that anyone with information regarding the case contact the department at 337-893-2511 or by calling the TIPS line at 337-892-6777. All callers may remain anonymous. Residents may also send anonymous tips through the Tip 411 system at the department's website, Facebook page, or mobile app. A Church Point officer was injured after pursuit. A Church Point officer was injured Sunday when trying to stop two men wanted in connection with recent shootings, KATC-TV reported. The officer tried to pull over a vehicle and a chase began. During the pursuit, the suspect's vehicle hit the officer's vehicle, sending it into a ditch where it flipped on its side. The officer was transported to a hospital with injuries that were not life-threatening. The driver of the suspect vehicle was arrested with injuries that were not life-threatening. The driver of the suspect vehicle was arrested. Police said the investigation is continuing. Now for a public service announcement. The United Way of Acadiana is offering free tax preparation. The United Way of Acadiana is offering free tax preparation services through its Volunteer Income Tax Assistance (VITA) program. The program provides low and moderate income individuals with families with free, reliable assistance with filing federal tax returns. There are 12 filing locations participating this year throughout the Acadiana region. Most locations are by appointment only due to the COVID-19 safety restrictions. Visit unitedwayofacadiana.org/VITA for site locations, opening dates, and to make appointments. For additional resources, visit myfreetaxes.com to learn more about alternate free or low-cost filing options currently available. The VITA program is just one way the United Way of Acadiana is working to help individuals and families achieve and maintain financial stabilities. Learn about additional programs by visiting unitedwayofacadiana.org. Acadiana news continue. Scarcity of homes for sale is the biggest challenge. Acadiana's Market Hot Street continues. By Adam Daigle, Acadiana Business Editor. The number of available homes for sale in the Acadiana region continues to dwindle after the number of homes sold last month skyrocketed again. Now in the third year of a strengthening market, but 9 months after the market went into overdrive caused by rock-bottom interest rates at the start of the pandemic, the Acadiana region has a decreasing number of new listings to hit the market, according to data compiled by Bill Bakke of Market Scope Consulting. Last month, the region had 524 new listings, the lowest amount reported in February in the last 3 years, and a 22% drop from a year ago. Of that total, just 344 were in Lafayette Parish, and the number of existing homes listed for sale so far this year is down 20%. The ratio of new listings to homes sold in Lafayette Parish so far in 2021 is 1.2 to 1, the lowest at this point since at least 2014, data shows. It's just below 1.5 to 1 this point last year and was at 2.2 to 1 in 2016. The biggest challenge remains lack of available inventory of homes for sale that is now impacting virtually every parish in Acadiana and every price quadrant, Baque wrote in his monthly report. New listings throughout our region are down by over 15% for the first 2 months of 2021. Those parishes other than Lafayette Parish have seen a cumulative drop in new listings in excess of 25%, while new listings in Lafayette Parish are down by over 8%, primarily buttressed by the 33% increase in new construction listings. The region reported 493 homes sold last month, including 323 in Lafayette Parish, both totals far exceeding the number of homes sold a year ago. New construction in Lafayette Parish continues to have a bigger year, with 91 homes were sold last month, up 42% from a year ago, and putting the yearly total 37% from a year ago. Resales were up 23% from the month of February and just 6% so far this year. Home sales outside of Lafayette Parish were up slightly in February, but remained 3% behind last year's pace. Low interest rates continue to be why the market is flooded with buyers, although interest rates inched upward last week. Freddie Mac reported last week an average of a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage topped 3%, while the 15-year version was at 2.34%. The lower interest rates have allowed buyers to buy up on their purchases. The dollar volume of homes sold in the region in February topped 108 million, a 36% increase from a year ago, and the total for the year is at 204.5 million, which is 20% ahead of last year's pace. In Lafayette Parish, the average sale price last month was $246,353, a 6% increase from the $230,928 a year ago, data shows. In state news, an audit slams massage therapy board. Report says unlicensed and illicit spas may fly under the radar. By Will Sentino, staff writer. Louisiana's reputation of the massage therapy industry is riddled with problems, fails to ensure that businesses are not sexually oriented operations, and lacks consistent standards on when to dismiss sexual misconduct and other complaints, according to a state audit released Monday. The review said that during a 2-year period, the Louisiana Board of Massage Therapy dismissed or closed the investigation of 74% of complaints that included allegations of unprofessional conduct, sexually suggestive ads, and signs of human trafficking, temporary legislative state auditor Thomas Cole said. The complaint shelved included claims that a therapist sexually harassed or molested 3 clients, the discovery of new and used condoms at a massage therapy site, and a complaint that one site was advertising sexual services. The board cited conflicting accounts, limited search authority, and scant resources to check online websites for its actions. The report quoted board officials as saying they leave prostitution and human trafficking allegations to the professionals, including the FBI. But the audit said that despite national guidelines, the board has not established criteria for dismissing cases and does not review the decisions of its three-member investigating committee. It said the issue is especially pressing amid reports that the nation has more than 9,000 illicit massage businesses and that women engaging in prostitution at those sites may be the victims of human trafficking. The review sparked pointed criticism from members of the Legislative Audit Advisory Council. It is pretty obvious that we have some issues and we have some work to do with you guys, State Senator Jay Luno, Democrat of Alexandria, told leaders of the board who disputed most of the findings. I would encourage you to consider strongly increasing your policing of your own profession, Luno added. If you don't, we are. In its written response, the board said it has practices in place to address most of the issues raised in the audit and lacks the authority to pursue some of the other recommendations. The Louisiana Board of Massage Therapy is a 7-member panel and includes a staff of 3, including Executive Director Rhonda McManus, a 10-year veteran. The state has 2,784 massage therapists and 628 establishments where they work. Massage therapist is defined as the manipulation of soft tissue to maintain good health and to reduce stress, pain, and muscle tension. However, the report said the presence of illicit establishment threatens the integrity of the profession. It says 61% of licensed massage therapists in Louisiana work in their homes or the homes of their clients. The review said new state laws may be needed to improve regulation and to better identify unlicensed and illicit establishments. It says the board does not require inspectors to determine whether establishments are sexually oriented operations, including 221 cited that way by social media in 2019. One such massage business prompted 56 reviews. During this same time, the LBMT, the board, conducted an inspection but did not identify any illicit activity, the audit said of the site. According to LBMT, it does not use websites because establishments do not have control over what is posted on these websites, and there are so many of these websites it would be hard to know which one to search, it says. The audit said other states exercise tougher oversight. It says officials in Texas look for signs of prostitution and human trafficking at massage sites, including doors with locks on both sides. In Oregon, investigators have the ability to work undercover. Florida requires human trafficking awareness signs to be posted at massage businesses. State Representative Barry Ivy, Republican of Central, a member of the Legislative Audit Advisory Council, asked board officials to submit all their written policies and procedures within a week. We just need to fix this, Ivy said. We should have the gold standard on policies like this. We really don't seem to have any standards. In another area, state law requires massage therapists to submit a background check, but it only covers applicants approved after January 2013. That means less than half, 42%, of those licensed had undergone a background check as of April, the report says. That is just a logical expectation of the public, said Senator Beth Mazzell, Republican of Franklinton, a member of the council. State law does not require background checks for establishment owners. Board officials disagreed with the report's comment that it lacks a way to identify unlicensed activity. They said they can do so by following up on complaints from the public and licensed therapists. It also disputed that the view that the board should impose penalties and fines on businesses that continue to operate without a license. The board says it has no such authority. Today in History by the Associated Press. Today is Tuesday, March 9th, the 68th day of 2021. There are 297 days left in the year. Today's highlight in history: on March 9th, 1841, the U.S. Supreme Court in the United States versus the Amistad ruled 7-1 in favor of a group of illegally enslaved Africans who were captured off the U.S. coast after seizing control of a Spanish schooner, La Amistad. The justices ruled that the Africans should be set free. On this date, in 1916, more than 400 Mexican raiders, led by Pancho Villa, attacked Columbus, New Mexico, killing 18 Americans. During the First World War, Germany declared war on Portugal. In 1933, Congress, called into special session by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, began its 100 days of enacting New Deal legislation. In 1945, during World War II, U.S. B-29 bombers began launching incendiary bomb attacks against Tokyo, resulting in an estimated 100,000 deaths. In 1959, Mattel's Barbie doll, created by Ruth Handler, made its public debut at the American International Toy Fair in New York. In 1964, the United States Supreme Court in the New York Times Company versus Sullivan raised the standard for public officials to prove they've been liable in their official capacity by news organizations. In 1976, a cable car in the Italian ski resort of Calvalese fell some 700 feet to the ground when a supporting line snapped, killing 43 people. In 1989, the Senate rejected President George H.W. Bush's nomination of John Tower to be Defense Secretary by a vote of 53-47. The next day, Bush tapped Wyoming Representative Dick Cheney, who went on to win unanimous Senate approval. In 1997, gangster rapper the notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace was killed in a still unsolved drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. He was 24. 10 years ago, after a trip to the International Space Station, Shuttle Discovery ended its career as the most flown U.S. spaceship, returning from orbit for the last time. 5 years ago, 6 days before the Florida primary, Democrats Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders tangled in an intense debate in Miami over who was the true friend of American Hispanics, and had even worse things to say about Republican frontrunner Donald Trump. 1 year ago, global stock markets and oil prices plunged, reflecting mounting alarm over the impact of the coronavirus. An alarming sharp slide at the opening bell on Wall Street triggered the first automatic halt in trading in more than 2 decades. The Dow Industrials finished nearly 8% lower. Today's birthdays: singer Lloyd Price is 88. Actor Joyce Van Patten is 87. Country singer Mickey Gilley is 85. Actor Trish Van Devere is 80. Singer-musician John Cale, Velvet Underground is 79. Singer Mark Lindsay of Paul Revere and the Raiders is 79. Former ABC anchorman Charles Gibson is 78. Rock musician Robin Trower is 76. Singer Jeffrey Osborne is 73. Country musician Jimmy Faden of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band is 73. Actor Jamie Lynn Bauer is 72. Magazine editor Michael Kinsley is 70. TV newscaster Faith Daniels is 64. Actress Linda Fiorentino is 63. Actor Tom Amondes is 62. Actor-director Lonnie Price is 62. Country musician Rusty Hendricks of the Confederate Railroad is 61. Actress Juliette Binoche is 57. Rock musician Robert Sledge, Ben Folds 5, is 53. Rock musician Shannon Leto, 30 Seconds to Mars, is 51. Rapper C. Murder, aka C. Miller, is 50. Actor Emmanuel Lewis is 50. Actor Jean-Louisa Kelly is 49. Actor Kerr Smith is 49. Actor Oscar Isaac is 42. Comedian Jordan Klepper of TV's The Daily Show is 42. Rapper Chingy is 41. Actor Matthew Gray Gubler is 41. Rock musician Chad Gilbert of Newfound Glory is 40. And NHL defenseman Brent Burns is 36. Today's zodiac: Pisces, February 20th to March 20th. Take the initiative to address issues that are slowing down. Focus on efficiency and productivity so you can accomplish what you set out to do. Aries, March 21st to April 20th, 19. Adapt to change and go about your business. Embrace new beginnings with enthusiasm. How you use your energy to get things done will help you gain support and the respect you desire. Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. Keep your life simple and your promises practical. Refuse to let your emotions get in the way of common sense, and focus on self-improvement instead of trying to change others. Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. Don't let your guard down, even if someone is complimentary or seductive. Be wary when turned on the charm and uses emotional tactics to take advantage of you. Don't let anger set in. Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. Educate yourself before sharing your opinion. Change can be helpful if it saves you money, improves your health, or helps you make a difference. Leo, July 23rd to August 22nd. Look for the right opportunity. Don't let someone talk you into something that will benefit them, not you. Carefully choose with whom you associate. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. Learn through observation and make adjustments that will help you attain a better position. An older or established individual will offer insight. Don't be afraid to try something new. Libra, September 23rd to October 23rd. Be receptive to suggestions. Focus on education, communication, and expanding your interests and circle of friends. Let your curiosity and desire for mental stimulation lead the way. Scorpio, pace yourself. Think matters through and look at all sides of a situation. Focus on what's possible, and you'll find unique ways to evade tricky situations. Make peace and love priorities. Sagittarius, November 23rd to December 21st. Focus on how you earn your living or manage your money. Be wary of people taking advantage of you or not being honest about their long-term plans. You may have to go it alone, at least for a while. Capricorn, take care of yourself. Start a fitness routine that encourages you to pay close attention to diet and lifestyle, and it will lift your spirits and confidence. Success can be yours. Aquarius, January 20th to February 19th. Discipline, hard work, and persistence will be necessary today. Getting along and keeping the peace will make your life easier. Consider what's important to you and work to achieve it. The horoscope is an entertainment feature and is not based on scientific fact. State news continued. Touching emails and inappropriate comments. Complaint against Landry aide released by Andrea Gallo and Sam Carlin, staff writers. A sexual harassment complaint against a top aide for Attorney General Jeff Landry alleges that Pat McGee insisted that one woman should be deployed as co-counsel at a trial because male jurors would want to have sex with her, and that another was not currently as pretty as she was in law school at age 20. McGee declined to promote a third woman while citing how attractive she was, saying her good looks might cause him problems, according to the newly released document. The complaint filed November 20th against McGee, the head of the office's criminal division, has been shielded from public view since then. Landry's office filed a lawsuit against an advocate and Times-Picayune reporter who requested a copy of it, but a Baton Rouge judge ruled last week the complaint was a public record. The advocate and Times-Picayune received a redacted version of the complaint Monday. The redactions were made by 19th Judicial Judge Tim Kelly, who ruled against Landry in the lawsuit. McGee, who was sidelined while the matter was under investigation, returned to work in January when the probe was complete. He was suspended for 38 days, got $20,559 in pay, and ordered to attend training sessions on emotional intelligence, professionalism in the workplace, and conflict management. While the complaint said McGee was engaging in sexual harassment, the investigation concluded otherwise. In a summary of her findings, Attorney Vicki Crochet of the Taylor Porter law firm wrote that McGee's remarks were joking in nature, and that there were no allegations nor findings of any requests for sexual favors, inappropriate workplace touching, nor sexual overtures. Landry's office has yet to release the report detailing Crochet's investigation into McGee, and whether it will be made public will be an issue in an upcoming court hearing with the advocate. The debate over its release is closely linked to another recent sexual harassment probe that Crochet performed in 2013 into former LSU football coach Les Miles. That fight also escalated over the last month amid a lawsuit from USA Today, and LSU and Miles agreed to release Crochet's investigation into Miles with some redactions. Taylor Porter is frequently hired by government agencies for legal work. One of the firm's partners, John Murrell, is married to Liz Murrell, who serves as the top official in Landry's office. The complaint into McGee appears to have been written by a witness to much of the alleged harassment. The names of the various people described in it are redacted, a remedy the advocate agreed to as a way to protect victims of the alleged harassment and whistleblowers. Scott Sternberg, the attorney who represented the advocate, reported in the court proceedings, said the minor nature of the redactions undercut the Attorney General's argument that protecting the innocent will require blacking out nearly the entire letter. Everyone looking at this letter can now see the minimal redaction would protect the privacy of the victim and witnesses to this concerning event, Sternberg said. The Attorney General originally claimed that the redaction was impossible, and the judge has found otherwise. Why the Attorney General chose to use taxpayer funds to sue a reporter and set such a dangerous precedent instead of pulling out a Sharpie is a question for another day. The complaint describes several instances in which the complaint said McGee invoked the appearance of women around him when making decisions that affected the trajectory of their careers. McGee did not immediately return messages Monday. Landry's office released a statement from Sandra Schober, Deputy Director of the office's Administrative Services Division. Schober said in a statement that she has vast experience working on human resources issues, and she oversaw Taylor Porter's investigation into McGee. It also concluded that his conduct did not rise to the level of sexual harassment, Schober said. What was released today are the accusations. Accusations get investigated, and decisions concerning discipline are made based on our ability to validate accusations. The person writing the complaint against McGee said they tried to bring a seasoned trial attorney in as co-counsel at a sexual assault case. But McGee disagreed with the decision, calling the lawyer a woman, old and ugly, suggesting a younger and more attractive attorney instead, the complaint said. He indicated in another instance, McGee allegedly declined to promote a female attorney who he had repeatedly described as beautiful. He would later express concern to me privately that he would not be able to control himself sexually if she worked that closely with him, the complaint wrote. Shortly afterward, the same woman tried to switch offices, but the person writing the complaint said McGee berated her for doing so. The complainant described encouraging the woman to contact human resources. The complainant assumed she did report it to HR because Pat brought it up with me, according to the complaint. McGee said he could no longer trust the woman, the complaint said. Another interaction between McGee and an unnamed female employee prompted the person who wrote the complaint to come forward, they wrote. In early October, the woman recounted to the person who filed the complaint that he had also been touching her and making inappropriate remarks, the complaint said. The location of the touching was nothing that would be considered criminal, in my opinion, but I could tell he was making her uncomfortable, the complaint said. The woman had also been asking the witness if McGee had indicated he was considering firing her, citing ugly emails about her performance and inappropriate comments. She mentioned wanting to quit the office on more than one occasion, the report said. The person writing the complaint also details several exchanges between McGee and an attorney in the office whom he knew from law school. McGee frequently reminded her that she was no longer as pretty as she used to be as a law student, the complaint says. The complaint called HR in October to report those exchanges before filing the formal letter. But McGee then confronted the woman, according to the document. He proceeded to swear her to secrecy and then tried to get her to say that she was not offended by his comments, the complainant wrote, adding that the woman was very disturbed by the confrontation. She also stated how Pat remarked about how he liked the pants she was wearing yesterday. Landry and McGee, who are both from the Lafayette area, met in the early 2000s at Southern University Law School, where they both attended after serving in the Louisiana National Guard. In 2018, Landry tapped McGee to head the agency's criminal division. The former director of the criminal division was Brandon Freeman, whom President Donald Trump appointed as U.S. Attorney in the Middle District of Louisiana. The division handles Medicaid fraud and some high-profile criminal cases. Before McGee came on board, the division was tasked with reviewing the 2016 fatal shooting of Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge, which set off massive protests over police brutality. McGee is also a former member of the Southern University Board of Supervisors. State Senator Shannon Hewitt, who, like Landry, is a Republican who has expressed interest in running for governor, said the behavior outlined in the complaint should not be tolerated. Everyone deserves a safe workplace, and it's past time to raise our expectations and start holding government leaders to the highest standards, Hewitt said. If these complaints are accurate, I don't see how Mr. McGee should be allowed to function in any leadership position. Jill Kraft, an attorney who represented victims alleging sexual harassment of high-profile government officials, including the state's disgraced former Secretary of State, Tom Shedler, called the allegations appalling. The words speak volumes. You can't talk about employees as being sexual objects and not expected to be labeled sexual harassment, Kraft said. I find it personally discouraging, given the fact that the Attorney General is supposed to be on the side of the citizens of Louisiana. And if we cannot count on our Attorney General to stand up for victimized people, then where are we? Schober insisted that the Attorney General's office had acted and will continue to act in a way that encourages people to speak up. Kraft, however, said it seems unreasonable to conclude the allegations detailed did not constitute sexual harassment. Whether you specifically demand somebody have sex with you, or you believe their sexuality somehow impairs their ability to move forward, it is equally illegal, she said. You can read the entire complaint at theadvocate.com. Rental aid is being offered across the state. The program is open to all but the largest parishes. By Chad Calder, staff writer. The state has opened up its federally funded program to help residents of 57 parishes who have fallen behind on the rent due to the coronavirus pandemic. Residents of Louisiana's 7 largest parishes do not qualify, as governments there have started their own programs or will do so soon. But the state will handle dispersing $161 million to those parishes, including St. Landry, St. Martin, Iberia, Vermilion, Acadia, and Evangeline. Lafayette Parish has announced it will open its own program in partnership with Catholic Charities and the Smile Community Action Agency. The state's program, which is funded by the coronavirus aid package, passed Congress in December and will be administered by the Louisiana Housing Corporation and will focus on paying past due rent and up to 3 months of future rent. It will give priority to households where at least one member has been unemployed for more than 90 days due to the pandemic, and to households earning less than 50% of the area's median income, which is roughly $28,950 for a family of 3 in Louisiana. Parish by parish AMI levels can be found at lastaterent.com/resources. The application can be found at lastaterent.com, or interested landlords and tenants can call 877-45 tenants' behalf. If they accept funds, they cannot evict tenants for 60 days after the assistance ends without good cause and must forgive late fees, penalties, and interest and court costs. Louisiana Housing Corporation said the coronavirus assistance package passed in December, which had $25 billion in rental assistance, $308 million of which went to Louisiana, isn't the only aid coming to renters. President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion package, expected to make its way through Congress in the coming days, has another $27.4 billion for rental assistance, about $22 billion, which will filter through the programs that have opened in Louisiana in recent weeks, according to the nonprofit advocacy group the Louisiana Fair Housing Action Center. In sports, board game. Troy's physical rebounding proves too much for the Cajuns women in Sun Belt Championship. By Kevin Foote, staff writer. The UL Ragin' Cajuns women's basketball team hasn't had to rebound from a loss since New Year's Day. So ironically, it was rebounding responsible for Coach Gary Broadhead's team having to bounce back from a loss for the first time in 16 games, or rather the lack of it. The Sun Belt East champion Troy out-rebounded UL by 18 and turned that into several extra opportunities in a 73-65 win over the Ragin' Cajuns in the Sun Belt Women's Tournament Championship game Monday at the Pensacola Bay Center. That really hurt us, UL coach Gary Broadhead said. That's what they live and die by. Go and get it. Coach Rigby does a good job, makes it difficult to play, but it's fun. I love playing against them. We just kind of fell short. Troy, 22-5, earned an automatic berth with the win, while the Cajuns, 16-6, will learn of their NWIT tournament destination Monday. We had a great season, Broadhead said. We would have loved to finish with the win, but now we have the opportunity to go to NWIT. Dominating the rebound category, 58-40, manifested itself in one very critical column, second chance points. Troy had 24 second chance points in the game, compared to just 2 for the Cajuns. They just crashed the boards, Broadhead said. We've been talking about the little things. You've got to block them out. It's tough to block them out when they're on your back, but it's just part of it. The Trojans also flourished in another category in the win, outscoring UL 16-4 in bench scoring. A big reason was UL sophomore guard Micaiah Holloman being limited to 5 minutes with an ankle injury. She went up for a shot and a girl undercut her, so she twisted her ankle extremely bad, Broadhead said. She's tough. She wanted to go back in. She probably shouldn't have gone back in, but she wanted to play. She can score in bunches, so we don't know what would have happened if she had stayed healthy. She could have missed 10 shots too. It could have gone either way, but we sure could have used her when we got a little tired and turned over the ball. Troy nailed 4 3-pointers in the first half and cruising to a 36-22 halftime lead. At that point, Tyriona Duce had 2 points off of 1 of 8 shooting at the half, before finishing with 14 points and 5 rebounds. We went in and got some touches for her, Broadhead said. She was just a lot more aggressive. In the first half, I think she was 1 for 8. I thought she was getting banged up. I think she kind of made up her mind, banged up or not, she was going to go at them. And yes, her shots started falling. Skylar Goodwin also scored 14 points, along with 10 rebounds and 3 assists in the loss. Jamira Mathis and Brandy Williams were UL's other double-digit scorers, with 13 and 12 points respectively. Troy was led by Jasmine Robinson with 17 points, followed by Felmas Karanga with 12 points and 22 rebounds, and Alexis Dye with 11 points and 14 rebounds. It's always a battle, said Broadhead of playing Troy. I always feel like we're going to win because of our defense, but I was wrong today. Ducey's 10 points in the third quarter got UL within 7 at 50-43 with 2:23 left in the third. Early in the fourth, Goodwin and Williams both knocked down threes to cut Troy's lead to 56-53 with 8:46 left. Only the Trojans responded with a quick 8-0 run. We made that run toward the end. They always had an answer, though, said Broadhead. That was the tough part. We needed to make some stops, and we didn't. Both teams ended up shooting 36% from the field. UL made 8 3-pointers to 7 for Troy. Points in the paint was even at 30-30, and points off turnovers were even at 13-13. No matter how many times UL threatened the comeback, though, Troy answered with a rebound and put back with 24 offensive rebounds in the win. It's kind of disappointing, Broadhead said. I think some things could have happened to make it a little bit better, but it's just part of the game. This has been Local News Live for March 9th, 2021. I've been your reader, Robert Richard, joining us at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on AOC 1, Cypress Street Radio, or AOC Community Media channel on YouTube. You can read these channels, stories, and more at aocinc.org. Good day.